was birthed, charged to collect balanced, credible, and accurate news and information. A tax tested and proven to be a world-class example of news presentation where truths are told. We lead by example and others follow. RCR News, the premier source of accurate news. Newsdesk is up next. "18 years ago, a news center was birthed, charged to collect balanced, credible, and accurate news and information. A tax tested and proven to be a world-class example of news presentation where truths are told. We lead by example and others follow. RCR News, the premier source of accurate news. Newsdesk is up next."
A pleasant good evening and welcome to News Desk. 45 minutes of the major developments in Liberia, Africa, and elsewhere. Today is February 28, 2024. My name is Henson Decker presenting. In the Alliance House of Representatives approves President Joseph Boakar's request for $41.3 million United States dollars as the Joint Committee on Ways, Means, and Finance and Public Accounts says the decision was necessary to avoid government shutdown. Women advocacy group He for She Crusaders Liberia hails President Joseph Boakar for appointing over 23 females in government, says the president's action demonstrates his interest in gender equality. Representative Musa Belete threatens to take the necessary actions to defend and uphold the laws of Liberia if President Joseph Boakar fails to recall those he appointed to tenure positions in government. And in foreign news, Guinea's military junta, which seized power in the coup in September 2021, has dissolved the government, according to the BBC. The details of these developments, the news bulletin, the voices of the newsmakers polls are anticipated on this edition of the news program. We'll take a break to rejoin you. Thanks for being with us. Up next is Olivia Bound with the news bulletin. Olivia, good evening.
Good evening, Henson, and good evening to all. The House of Representatives has approved President Joseph Boakar's request for $41.3 million United States dollars for operations to avoid government shutdown. President Boakar, in his recent communication to the House, said the amount will be used for government operations for the month of February, including compensation. Meanwhile, on Tuesday, the plenary of the House of Representatives approved the president's request by endorsing a report from the House's Joint Committee on Ways, Means and Finance and Public Accounts. The Joint Committee Tuesday submitted its report, siding with President Boakar to use $41.3 million United States dollars for operations. In the report, part the committee is headed by Representatives Dixon Seaboard of Montreal County and Clarence Gard of Margibi County. The committee recommended that it was prudent to approve the president's request. Representatives Seaboard and Clarence Gard further stated that the passage of the $41.3 million United States dollars will alleviate mainly the salary burdens and as well keep the government functional. The committee in the report added that $1.9 million United States dollars of the $41.3 million will be used on President Boakar's 100-day plan. The committee's detailed report read in plenary got 38 votes, 2 abstentions, while 2 lawmakers voted against the decision, including Nimba County District Number 7 Representative Musa Belete. According to Representative Belete, the action of the president requesting for said amount was outside of the law on grounds that 112 of 2024 draft budget has been used by the previous government and that President Walker's request for the legislature to approve another 41.3 million is unlawful. In another development, Representative Mustability wants President Joseph Walker maintains officials with 10 new positions. According to Representative Ability, maintaining officials in 10 new positions will save the government about 1.8 million United States dollars. He argued that President Walker was elected in order to correct mistakes that were made by former President George Weah. As such, repeating then who mean there is no change. The Neighbor County District Number 7 representative further disclosed that he is preparing a communication to be sent to plenary to ensure that President Walker disembarks on removing officials of government in 10 new positions. The chairman of national security at the House of Representatives spoke Tuesday to legislative reporters after session. The national coordinator of a civil society organization under the banner of He for She Crusaders, Liberia has congratulated President Joseph Walker for appointing over 23 females in government. Samba Johnson noted that past governments barely considered women's inclusion in such a high number, thereby undermining the full implementation of SDG's goal number 5 that calls for gender equality at all levels. Speaking at the news conference in Concord Town, Johnson also called on females that have been confirmed to serve the people of Liberia in the direction of the government's arrest agenda, which include agriculture, rules, rule of law, education, sanitation, and tourism, and in the best interest of the country and its people. Johnson also noted that He for She Crusaders Liberia will be critical on females' performance, noted that they believe that females should be people of great integrity and should make the difference when given the chance to lead. Meanwhile, He for She Crusaders Liberia, through its national coordinator, has condemned the unacceptable action of Prophet Kidd against Cultural Ambassador Madame Julie Andy. Former Liberian President George Weah has expressed sadness over the shocking death of former Neighbor County Representative Johnson Gueglo. Former President Weah said he is deeply saddened by the death news of former representative of District 9 Neighbor County, who family sources revealed died on Monday at the St. Joseph Catholic Hospital in Monrovia. In a social media post, the former Liberian leader said the late Johnson Gueglo was not just a staunch supporter of his administration, he was also a dear friend and blood relative. According to former President Weah, he and the deceased shared a very cordial working relationship, especially during the just ended elections. He noted that former Representative Gueglo was towering a figure in the politics of Nimba and the nation at large, having served the 54th National Legislature and the National Transitional Legislative Assembly during the country's civil war. A lady believed to be in her late 30s has been found dead following visitation to her boyfriend's house in the new Buchanan community, Grand Bassa County. According to information gathered by our Grand Bassa County correspondent, Comfort Glay was called at 11 p.m. Monday by her boyfriend Stanley Moore, at which time a neighbor to her boyfriend disclosed that they heard her screaming in the house. She later ran out of the house complaining of something in her throat and requesting for water to drink. The neighbors offered her water to drink, during which time she collapsed and was later pronounced dead by medical practitioners. According to our correspondent, despite report of powering with her boyfriend. A jury set up to examine the body reported no foul play in her death. The Liberian Institute of Statistics and Geoinformation Services Director General Designate Richard Kafuan has vowed to restore renewed confidence in the entity if confirmed by the Liberian Senate. Appearing Monday before the Committee on Autonomous Agencies, Kafuan said it will not only be through the quality of their data, but through the integrity of their fiduciary processes. He said, in adherence to the public financial management and public procurement regulations, will be cardinal in the restoration of citizens and donors' confidence in their activities. According to him, legislators under his administration will draft a new national strategy for the development of statistics and will come before the Liberian Senate for their support and funding the various components of this flagship document. The former president of the Liberia Council of Churches, Bishop Colter Brown, says Liberia needs nation builders and not job seekers. According to him, those people's efforts should help to contribute to the long-term stability and viability of the nation, building instead of then passing around and bluffing because they had appointed to positions in government. Bishop Brown, who is the general overseer of New Water Interdesert Assembly, Apostolic Pentecostal Church, expressed confidence in the leadership of President Joseph Boakai. He, however, challenged the Liberian leader to appoint Liberians who have the ability to positions they are being appointed to. The Liberia Female Law Enforcement Association is expected to hold a 3-day annual retreat and General Assembly for female law enforcement officers from various security agencies across the country. According to LIFLIA release, over 100 female law enforcement officers from the Bureau of Corrections and Rehabilitations, Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, Liberia National Fire Service, Liberian Immigration Service, Liberia National Police, Executive Protection Service, Monrovia City Police, Liberia Seaport Police, and representatives from private security guard services are expected to be in attendance. The event, according to the release, is being supported by the Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs and the U.S. State Department through the International Development Law Organization. A grassroots advocacy group, Liberians for Democratic Action, is calling on the Liberian Senate to confirm Deputy Inspector General for Operations of the Liberian National Police, Anthony Nelson Freeman. The group wants members of the Senate not to give credence to CDC Chairman Moaba Molu's recent unwarranted allegations, referring to Anthony Freeman as a violent character. Leader has therefore commended President Joseph Boakai for appointing Attorney Nelson Freeman as Deputy Police Inspector General for Operations, stressing that Attorney Freeman is a well-trained and experienced law enforcement officer with vast understanding of Liberian police system. Speaking Tuesday at a press conference in Monrovia, the group, through its spokesperson Prince Grendel, said Anthony Freeman rose from being a police officer to chief of patrol, chief of crimes investigation, chief of public safety, and lastly served as commissioner for operations. A Liberian citizen residing in the United States has threatened a lawsuit against Montgomery County attorney, Councilor Alhaji Swahilo Sese. Theo Joseph Jenion is accusing Councilor Sese of intimidation, humiliation, and unlawful detention. Explaining his ordeal to journalists Monday in Monrovia, Field, who is currently visiting Liberia, said the county attorney had invited him and his landlady for conference on a dispute over the property that he is renting in Painesville. He said during the conference, Councillor Swahilo continuously intimidated him and later ordered some police officers in his office to detain him for refusal to sign what he called a bogus promissory note. Theo Joseph engineered further that his younger brother's phone was searched and videos and photos taken during the time they were in detention for over 3 hours were deleted. Hundreds of veterans of the armed forces of Liberia are said to gather at the compound of the National Bureau of Veteran Affairs this Wednesday to recommend three qualified individuals for consideration by President Joseph Boakai. Retired Captain Edwin Toba, officer in charge of the Bureau, revealed that a 17-member steering committee has been established to meticulously vet the candidates who will be selected. Speaking at a press conference in Concord Town, Captain Toba outlined the process, stating that following the selection, the steering committee will issue a resolution. The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization has signed a memorandum of understanding with the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority to conduct regional demersal and plastic resources surveys in the Western Gulf of Guinea. At the MOU signing ceremony held at the FAO office in Monrovia, Bintia Stephen Chikaya, FAO resident representative, expressed her enthusiasm for the partnership, highlighting FAO's commitment to providing technical support for the development of sustainable fisheries in Liberia. In her remarks, the Director General of NAFA, Emma Glasgow, extended gratitude to FAO for the collaboration, reiterating Liberia's dedication to responsible marine resource management and conservation. In another development, the Director General of the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority, Emma Glasgow, has with immediate effect ordered the resumption of fishing activities across the 9 coastal counties. Glasgow, through a release, ordered fishermen to resume fishing while they make their payment for the 2024 fishing license. The NAFA release quoted Director Glasgow as saying, fishermen in the coastal counties should go about fishing beginning February 20 to enable them pay their fishing license fees for the 2024 fishing season. Madam Glasgow said fishermen can fish in up to March 30 of this year while they make their payments to NAFA compliance and enforcement teams currently assigned across the 9 coastal counties. Away from Liberia, Guinea's military junta, which seized power in a coup in September 2021, has dissolved the government. The announcement was made through a presidential decree read on state TV on Monday by the presidency's Secretary General, General Amaral Kamara. Mr. Kamara did not disclose the reason for the dissolution or say when a new government will be put in place. Ministers in the dissolved government were ordered to surrender their passports and official vehicles. Their bank accounts have additionally been frozen. The junta had also instructed security agencies to seal off the country's borders until government ministries have been fully handed over to the junta. Lower-level officials will temporarily manage state ministries until a new government is appointed, Mr. Kamara said. Well, Hansen, that's the news bulletin.
Thanks to Oliver Bound for the news bulletin, the foreign development, the bulletin of news. It is a regular feature on the news program. If you are just joining us in one of the top developments we are following, Representative Musa Belete threatens to take the necessary actions to defend and uphold the laws of Liberia if President Joseph Boakai fails to recall those he appointed to tenure positions in government. Let's bring you the voices of the newsmakers. The national coordinator of a civil society organization, another partner, he for she Crusaders Liberia, has congratulated President Joseph Boakai for appointing over 23 females in government. Tamar Johnson noted that past governments barely considered women inclusion in such a high number, thereby undermining the full implementation of SDGs goal number 5 that calls for gender equality at all levels. Speaking at the news conference in Congotan, Johnson also called on females that have been confirmed to serve the people of Liberia in the direction of the government arrest agenda, agriculture, rules, rule of law, education, sanitation, tourism, and in the best interest of the country and its people.
The chief of secret service like to employ the president Joseph Boakai for appointing over 25 females into his government. This action of the president demonstrates his pure gender sensitive nature toward Liberia reminds the women that have been appointed that we will remain critical on your performance because we know that women should be people of integrity, people that can make the change, and the change must be made by you. We will not compromise and accept any default from those integrities that we believe that women have to make the difference. At the same time, we call on all women to stand up and make the difference in adherence toward the arrest agenda. Fellow Liberians are equally frown on trafficking for abusing the culture ambassador of Liberia. We should not, as well-meaning Liberians, accept trafficking's behavior against a woman. Any true Liberian will agree with me that our culture value calls on all men to respect our mothers, sisters, and wives. We should not consider breaking down our cultural values based on what we learn from the West. Our culture in Liberia is unique, and based on the uniqueness, we must adhere to the values and norms of our culture. Our well-being men of Liberia to condemn the action of all men who abuse women in all forms of manner. This should not be tolerated. This should not be accepted in our society. Liberia is doomed to be people who are daring and not militarily, men who are zealous and protective of their wives, children, and their mothers. We will not allow, and we should not allow this. We call true justice to prevail in the case that is presently accorded.
Tamar Johnson is the national coordinator of a civil society organization, He for She Crusaders Liberia. A lady believed to be in her late 30s has been found dead following visitation to her boyfriend's house in the new Buchanan community in Grand Bassa County. According to information gathered by our Grand Bassa County correspondent, Comfort Glade was called at 11 p.m. Monday by her boyfriend Stanley Moore, at which time a neighbor to her boyfriend disclosed that they heard her screaming in the house. Here is Alexander Musa with the detail.
This morning, about 6, I received this call that the young lady in question, named Comfort Clay, age 38, was allegedly called by her boyfriend last night, one Stanley Moore, a resident of New Began, Black C, while she resides in New Began, Black B. When she was called at about 11, she went there. According to the lady who she died in, one time she said, started hearing because it's not far away from the alleged perpetrator, Stanley Moore. So she started hearing the woman shouting in the house, "You come with me, killing me, you come with me, it's killing me," and nobody could just rush in the yard. So she came out with only backing on her naked. breathing faster on ground that he said your face on your throat, the man want to kill her, but she did not clearly explain as to what the man did to her, but she said, like, my boyfriend, boy, he attempted killing me, and she was calling people to help her water, and within that process, she fell and collapsed. And so this morning, the LMP, all of city apparatus went there, the doctors came and confirmed that she was dead, but according to the jury, 15-man jury setup, there was no foul play, but we saw phone coming from a low and a mouth. That's how the body was turned over to the family, but the family saying this is suspicious on ground that somebody been alleged of killing her, so as such they could not take the body.
So was the jury taking into account the testimony from the neighbor?
Yeah, so they took that testimony into account, and we spoke with the son, Nathan's son, 14-year-old child. According to him, this time, the mother is going to the boyfriend. She always told them that indeed I'm going to Stanley house, Stanley Moore. She's the only person I have now, all of you know. And according to him, she even carried him there once to see the yacht. So last time when the incident occurred, they ran to their house and they told them. So he went there on the scene. He saw a boy lying down with the phone. So he took the phone. According to him, allegedly Stanley came and asked him to give the phone because he wanted to put me in the phone. And so that's how he took the phone for him, and he went away with the phone.
Elizana Musa is our Grand Bassa County correspondent with that development. The former president of the Liberia Council of Churches, Bishop Cotto Brown, says Liberia needs nation builders and not job seekers. According to him, those people efforts to help to contribute to the long-term stability and viability of the nation building instead of them passing around and bluffing because they are appointed to positions in government.
We have to work now towards putting this country on the construction road that it is supposed to get on before it gets too late, gets chronic and difficult to be able to achieve that. Liberia needs nation builders and not just job seekers. Congratulations to all those who got appointed. But my question to you, are you a nation builder? Are you coming to the position you've been appointed because you want to transform this country? And this is all the problem we have even with our lawmakers. When you're trying to find someone, lawmakers, let me say that. Trying to find a job for yourself and your family, or keep yourself. You know what, man, for a year, for 6 years, when CDC was in power and they couldn't find their way around. It was a difficult time. So now you're trying to also find a job for yourself, your family, to get yourself to watch about the country. And this is my cause. This is my appeal. Please give us nation building. Please give us men and women that will transform this country. Please give us men and women that will bring this country together, reconcile this country, and put it on a new road that we all can see it. So we want to see the reverse. We want to see nation builders, like the job seekers. The confidence, let me say it that way, that President Wagai is able to lead the nation of transformers, but it depends on who he selects in the process. You want to win a game, you got to find a winning team. You got to find a winning team. You got to find people that are the same way, you put them together, they can perform, you do their own performance, you do their performance, you they can do something. Not just because they can do it, saying that I can do it, and I can doing it, I prove the difference.
Bishop Cotto Brown is the president emeritus of the Liberia Council of Churches. The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organizations has signed a memorandum of understanding with the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority to conduct regional demand-side and plastic resources surveys in the Western Gulf of Guinea. At the MOU signing ceremony held at the FAO office in Monrovia, Binta Stephen Garcia, FOA resident representative, expressed her enthusiasm for the partnership, highlighting FAO's commitment to providing technical support for the development of sustainable fisheries in Liberia.
This memorandum of understanding that we are about to sign, it's in view of the EAF Nansen program. Friedrich Nansen is a benefactor that gave a scientific boat at the disposal of FAO to conduct scientific research on marine resources. And so this boat will be soon coming into the waters of West Africa, and Liberia will be the space where we will spend the most time. The boat will stay here in the Liberian waters for about 1 month, and the intention to check on the movement of fish, take stock of the marine resources, take stock of the habitat and the movement of the marine resources along the West Africa coastline. So this is a very important sub-regional program with a focus on Liberia, whereby the data coming from this scientific exploration will tell us the type of fish that are available in Liberian waters at what time and in what quantity, and also the movements that they undertake either due to climate change or due to just the time frame. So it's going to enable NAFA, the Liberian authorities, to also try to guide the artisanal fisheries into determining at what time they should fish and the type of fish that will be available to them in any given period of the time.
In remarks, the Director General of NAFA, Emma Glasgow, extended gratitude to FAO for the collaboration reintegrating Liberia's dedication to responsible marine resource management and conservation.
For the strong partnership that exists between the National Fisheries Authority and the FAO. I cannot overemphasize the importance of getting data. It's linked to unleashing the economic potential of our fisheries resources. At least we'll be able to know what is in our waters, and we'll be able to make management decisions from a very informed position, unlike before. The lack of data, as I've said, have so undermined this sector. But fortunately for Liberia, we are having like 3 stock assessments in a go. Chubb and others, we are having one. And then recently launched the Moroccan vessel. And now with FAO. It was not an easy task to get these vessels here. I remember when I took on office, that had been my singular priority. In order to open an industrial fishing, you must be able to be informed by scientific data. And so we had to request. So the country makes requests for his technical support. And based on the partnership and the availability, that's how they will be able to select Liberia. So Liberia, along with many other countries, are competing to get a stock assessment. But I'm very happy that Liberia has been one of the countries to benefit from a stock assessment. Imagine for more than decades, we've not been doing stock assessment, but recently you see that we're doing stock assessment. So at least now we'll be able to know the potential of our fisheries resources. And so I'm very happy.
The voice of the Director General of the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority, Emma Glasgow. Earlier on, they listened to the voice of FAO Country Representative Liberia, Bintia Stephen Tisikaya. A grassroots advocacy group, Liberians for Democratic Action, is calling on the Liberian Senate to confirm Deputy Inspector General for Operations of the Liberia National Police, Anthony Nelson Freeman. The group wants members of the Senate not to give credence to CDC Chairman Mama Molu's recent unwarranted allegations referring to Anthony Freeman as a violent character. Leader has therefore commended President Joseph Boakai for appointing Anthony Nelson Freeman as Deputy Police Inspector General for Operation, stressing that Anthony Freeman is a well-trained and experienced law enforcement officer with vast understanding of Liberian police system. Speaking Tuesday at a press conference in Monrovia, the group through a spokesperson, Prince Gwendolyn said Anthony Freeman rose from being a police officer to Chief of Patrol, Chief of Crimes Investigation, Chief of Public Safety, and lastly served as Commissioner for Operations.
Unlike the CDC, that has a new alleged violator of human rights and perpetrators of violence, the former mayor Jefferson Pochi, Anthony J. Nelson Freeman is a professional criminal justice practitioner and law enforcer who has demonstrated acts of good governance and full-scale implementation of security policies within the confines of our law. He has over the years worked with the Liberian National Police in fighting lawlessness, insecurity in the Liberian society, and increasing disadvantage youth, commonly known as Zogos and Zogis. The wanton disregard of the rule of law and poor governance system that marked the outgoing CDC government were as a result of Mayor Pochi's use of ex-combatants and hardcore criminals released from prisons to orchestrate his acts of human rights violation and barbarism against peaceful Liberians. Therefore, the Liberians for Democratic Action sees Anthony J. Nelson Freeman as a responsible law executor and administrative specialist among Liberian educative criminal justice practitioners. Hence, we call on the Honorable Liberian Senate not to give credence to the CDC, Molase and unwarranted allegations against Anthony J. Nelson Freeman by unconditionally confirming him as Deputy Inspector General for Operations of the Liberian National Police. We have no doubt with the level of qualification, quality of competence, and several years of experience he has amassed. Anthony J. Nelson Freeman will show that the Liberian National Police is robust and vigorous in the performance of its national duty.
The white leader recalled that a copy of the Special Independent Commission of Inquiry investigative report on the November 7, 2011 shooting incident at the headquarters of the CDC clears Anthony Nelson Freeman of any act of shooting to kill, contrary to information emanating from the CDC National Chairman that Anthony Freeman shot to kill.
I want to firstly congratulate His Excellency Joseph Yuma Bwaka for appointing Anthony J. Nelson Freeman as Deputy Inspector General for Operations of the Liberian National Police, the LNP. Anthony Freeman is a well-trained and experienced law enforcement officer with vast understanding of Liberia's police system, which has served many years within the Liberian National Police. With the many roles Anthony Freeman has played within the Liberian National Police, virtually serving in every major operational department. He is best fit to lead the operational arm of the Liberian National Police. Anthony J. Nelson Freeman rose from being a police officer to chief of patrol, chief of crimes investigation, chief of public safety, and lastly served as commissioner for operations. The Liberians for Democratic Action sees as deceptive and diabolical the designation of Anthony J. Nelson Freeman as a violent character by the Coalition for Democratic Change, the CDC, the designation and negative characterization of Anthony Freeman by the National Chairman of the CDC, Mr. Molba Molus, is a small screen intended to distract Liberians from the CDC many acts of human rights abuse and misuse of power in the last 6 years. What more does Mr. Molu has to speak to issues of violence and human rights when he has remained very tablet and silent over the U.S. government sanctions against the National Secretary of the CDC, Mr. Jefferson Tamakoji, for alleged human rights violations in Liberia?
The voice of Prince Grendo, the spokesperson of the Liberians for Democratic Action, there speaking. Let's now welcome Naomi Tapia to bring us the sporting developments. Good evening.
Good evening, Henson. Good evening, everyone. Liberia has prepared against Djibouti for the preliminary qualifier of the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. The qualifiers will be played between 20 to 26 March of next month as Liberia travels away for the first leg. The aggregate winner of both matches will be June Ingu. For the regular qualifiers, the preliminary qualifiers draw was held on Monday in Cairo, Egypt. Several sports lovers have begun using their various social media pages to celebrate two of their members who have been nominated by President Joseph Nima Boakai for Deputy and Assistant Sports Minister's positions at the Ministry of Youth and Sports. Gianni Kwame, who served as Deputy Sports Minister in previous government, has been reappointed. He comes on the table with a vast experience ranging from Match Commissioner, CAF Football Inspector, member of CAF Judicial Committee, CEO of Watanga Football Club, former LFA Executive Committee member, amongst others. For his part, Murphy Gray, a veteran sports administrator and educator, has been nominated as Assistant Sports Minister. He served 12 years as Assistant Sports Minister during former President L.A. Johnson's Sirleaf era. Bree has directly been involved with sports and education for over 2 years. Their appointments are subject to confirmation by the Liberian Senate. The goodwill ambassador of the Liberia Wheelchair Basketball Federation, Mami Free, says Liberia stands a chance to benefit hugely from wheelchair basketball programs if the country can begin investing in the sport. Madam Free, who is residing in the Netherlands, acknowledged the Liberia Wheelchair Basketball Federation is well known in the United Kingdom, Australia, and Sweden through her innovation. The Liberia Wheelchair Basketball Federation Goodwill Ambassador made the disclosure over the weekend during their pre-tournament at the Unification Sports Park in Moravia ahead of the 2024 league season, expected to begin on the 1st of April. PSG striker Kylian Mbappe has agreed to join Real Madrid this summer. The France captain, 25, has told PSG he intends to leave the club with his contract expiring in June. Mbappe has not signed a contract with Real yet, but a deal could be announced once it is no longer possible for the clubs to meet in this season's Champions League. The World Cup winner is PSG's record goal scorer with 244 goals. Mbappe wanted his future sorted before March, so on 13 February, before training, he met PSG president Nasser El Khalifi and told him he was leaving and joining Real. After reports emerged last Thursday that he would leave, Mbappe was left out of the starting lineup for Saturday's match against Nantes, but came off the bench to score a penalty as PSG went 14 points clear at the top of League One. He's set to sign a 5-year deal with Real and 15 million euros. 12.8 million a season plus a 150 million euro, 128 million signing on bonus to be paid over 5 years, and he will keep a percentage of his image rights. Real manager Carlo Ancelotti has already thought how he will use Mbappe in his team, with England midfielder Jude Bellingham playing a deeper role, Brazilian Vinicius Junior playing on the left, and Mbappe playing left of center. If Croatian midfielder Luka Modric leaves this summer, then Mbappe will inherit the number 10 shirt he wears for France. PSG are 2-0 up against Real Sociedad after the first leg of the Champions League 16 tie, while Real RB leads it 1-0. That's often I was posted.
Has threatened a lawsuit against Montserrat County Antonin Councillor Ahachi Swahilo Sisi. Theo Joseph is accusing Councillor Sisi of intimidation, humiliation, and unlawful detention. Explaining his ordeal to journalist Monday in Moravia, Theo, who is currently visiting Liberia, said the county attorney had invited him and his landlady for conference on a dispute over the property that he is renting in Painesville. He said during the conference, Councillor Swahilo Sisi continuously intimidated him and later ordered some police officers in his office to detain him for refusal to sign what he called a bogus promissory note.
We met when I was at 12. We walked in his office. The first thing he says when we walk in his office is, "You're the one disrespecting my office by declining to come to my invite." Blah, blah, blah. Started screaming at us like we're his children. So at that point, I informed him that I'm not here. I'm not cited by court to come here. I didn't commit any crimes. And you are not going to talk to me like that. If you like, I walk away. And you do what you have to do. So that's when he said, if you are not come here today, I would have sent 5 PSU officers to your house at 5 a.m. to come arrest you. Arrest me for what? Is an invite. You can decline an invite. County attorney says they instructed the police officer that is assigned with him to place me under arrest and detainment until I sign this form, a contract between me and his relative. Not any legal form, not any form from the court, no stamp, nothing on it, just I should be forced to sign a contract between him and his relative, which I still declined. So when he said that,
I followed him down the hallway and I started screaming in the building. I said, okay, since you say you're going to arrest me, come arrest me. Come arrest me here where everybody can see you arrest me. Since you know the law in Liberia, come and arrest me here for not signing contract with your relative. At that point, I even realized I left my phone on the table in the office, and there was plenty of people in the office, so I didn't want to leave my phone there. So I ran back inside the office to grab my phone. So to come back outside, as I grabbed my phone off the table in the office, we were trying to leave. The police officer came and stood in front of the door. They stood in front of the door, restricting us from leaving. I started to ask them, what's going on? What's happening? Why are you staying in the way? Then the police officer, who apparently doesn't know his own job, asked the clerk, what do you think I should do? So I was like, you police officer, are you asking a clerk what you should do? You don't know the law?
Meanwhile, when contacted about these allegations, Councillor Alhaji Swahilo Sise denied them. He said the conference was held and an agreement reached, but Theo Joseph Jr. later refused to sign the promissory note grounds that the landlady must restore water supply to the apartment, which he has agreed to vacate on 28 February 2024.
This young man was invited to a conference, but he was being very rude to the officers who went to him. So we didn't take action with that. Usually, under those circumstances, we would send a writ of arrest or we send an arrest order out for being disrespectful. But we're allowing an opportunity because he came back. I think he spoke to someone and said, oh no, just go there, just a conference. And he came. I said, well, you were being very disrespectful to the officers yesterday. You don't do that. You don't refuse communication from legal authorities. If you can't, you say, okay, that's why I came. So I said, what happened? The lady first explained they on the premises, they don't want to move, they're running away, they got their face locked and all of that. They are asking, they say it's true, we're there, but we're not running away, we're start to move. I have a place. I said, oh, okay. When do you intend to leave? He said, I want to explain something. I said, go ahead and explain. He said, this thing is based on precedent. I am a lawyer. I am a lawyer. I practice in the United States. I said, good. In the U.S., these things don't happen there. You say you are a lawyer and you were cited, you disrespected and you insulted the officer that one way you. In the U.S., you will not do that. The sheriff comes to your door, you will listen to that. You know, that's not the case here. To explain, they say, okay, that's why I was explaining. I will move. And I have no problem with moving. And I just wanted you to understand that. I said, okay, good. So you say you will move. How soon can you move?
The voice of Mansoura County Anthony Swahilo Sise added, you listen to the voice of Theo Joseph Jr. They're bringing us to the end of today's edition of the news program. As we take leave of you, these are the top stories we have been following. House of Representatives approves President Joseph Boakar's request for $41.3 million United States dollars as the Joint Committee on Ways, Means and Finance and Public Accounts says the decision was necessary to avoid government shutdown. Women advocacy group He for She Crusaders Liberia hails President Joseph Boakar for appointing over 23 females in government, says the president's action demonstrates his interest in gender equality. Representative Musa Belete threatens to take the necessary actions to defend and uphold the laws of Liberia if President Joseph Boakar fails to recall those he appointed to tenure positions in government. And away from Liberia, Guinea's military junta, which seized power in a coup in September 2021, has dissolved the government, according to the BBC. Thanks to their correspondents, writers, reporters, editors, those who helped in making this February 2024 edition of Newsdesk a success. Oliver Bound read for us the news bulletin, the foreign development. Now, Tapia factor in the sporting developments. Johnson Batoma able coordinated the sound. Mine Tobian sat behind the camera and coordinated today's edition of the news program. For on behalf of the news team, my name is Hanson Dekara Presenter. Good evening.
when it comes to communication in Liberia, Orange is number one.
Orange is the best. Orange is the best. Oh, Orange is the best.
Orange is the best.
Strongest network, widest coverage.
Orange is the best.
Fastest internet speed.
Orange is the best.
People, Orange is the best. Yes, Orange is the best. Lamakitie, Naratama, what is the woo? Company Guinea, that's a Riboga Orange, Tobaga #1. So we need
Company Tita, my Orange, I don't got it best.
Orange, will want you that telephone on phone.
Reliable, trusted, and dependable.
Orange is about 7. Yeah, Orange is
Orange is the best.
It's all about what matters to you. Orange.
Let me make sure I got all the sanitary items I need. I'm checking my list. Oh yes, one more item. Let me have a big bottle of Dettol, yeah, across the board.
Yes, the total amount is 3,000 LD.
Okay, let me give you your money. Hey, my people, I can't find my purse. Lola, I left it on my kitchen table. My husband is rushing me too much. What's I will do now?
Don't worry, Costa Homo. You can pay with your phone. Yes, the code here on the wall.
Awesome. Yes, I do have money on my phone.
With Orange Money, making payments for goods at your favorite store with your merchant is as easy as ABC. Dial *144#, select currency, select pay with Orange Money, and follow the instructions. With Orange Money, life is easier. No stress.
Orange.
I would like to fund my account at any time, even here.
Right here, right now.
Here too!
Without moving an inch.
Here would be just perfect.
Henceforth, send money to your Orange Money account from your bank account and vice versa directly from your mobile phone. A simple and fast solution that is always available to ensure a permanent access to your Orange Money services. Anywhere, anytime, send money to your Orange Money account from your bank account from your mobile phone to cash out, to recharge, to transfer, to pay, to buy. To subscribe to this service, go to your bank branch office, partner to the Orange Money service. It's all about what matters to you. Orange.
Introducing the Orange Money Card to Wallet service. How to transfer money from your bank card to an Orange Money wallet with the Card to Wallet service. Go to the Orange Botswana website at www.orange.co.bw and select the drop-down menu and click on Orange Online. This will open a new tab which will ask you to sign in. Click on Sign Up to register for the Card to Wallet service as a new user. Enter your name, surname, the Orange number and email address that will be linked to this service. Proceed to enter your occupation and create and confirm your password, which you will then be required to sign in with every time you make a Card to Wallet transfer. You will then receive an email confirmation. Enter the one-time PIN that you received on your phone. Click on the email confirmation link to finish off the registration. Once the registration is complete, log in, click on Card to Wallet, then enter the Orange Money number you are transferring to and the amount. Continue by entering the source of funds, purpose of funds, and proceed to payment. Click the Visa or MasterCard option and enter your card number, your full names as well as the card expiry date. Proceed to enter the CVV number and click Continue. Enter the one-time PIN that you received on your phone to complete the transaction. Click on Continue to complete the transaction. And just like that, the transaction is complete.